I feel like it's just ridiculous. You've been obviously on the street mobilizing people for 2 years. No one's listening. At what point, at what point do we call a spade a spade? Like, it is a genocide. Thank goodness for people like Chloe Swarbrick who call it what it is. I would like to see more MPs have a spine and do something about this. Like you said, sanctioning Israel for its war crimes. It's a simple request. There's a lot of trade that happens through the canals around that area. Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts, honestly.
You're in the right place then, Bree. This is the place for lots of thoughts.
Yeah, it just makes me angry, honestly. When will they listen, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if it makes you angry, can you imagine us, Palestinians? I am from Gaza. I am Palestinian, like I had my uncles living there in Gaza. They left, early on of the genocide, but, we're very lucky that they left. But a lot of people didn't leave. A lot of people didn't want to leave as well. We've seen these videos of 10-year-old kids saying, we are not leaving this land. This is our land. We're not leaving this land. So if a 10-year-old is saying that, it pushes me to keep going. It pushes me to keep demanding for our government here to do something, because we are in a privileged position. We live in our homes. We're very safe. We live very far away from all of this, but just because we're a small country, it doesn't excuse the fact that we can just sit back and relax and not do anything about it. We are a small country, but we are also a mighty country, and we've always stood with justice. We've always stood on the right side of history. So why is this different? Is it because they're Palestinian? Is it because they're Arab? Is it because they're Muslim? Because let's be honest, if this was happening to any Western country, nobody would stay silent. The world would flip their shit, So why are we staying silent in the case of Palestine? And it's not complicated. It's not.
Yeah.
It's black and white.
It is strange how there is that kind of different purposes, or kind of a dual standard we hold each other to, or countries to. I said last night, if any other country in the world had sent missiles into its 6 neighbours, they wouldn't be the ones that we were thinking were in trouble. I'd like to know from you, Nadine, because you're much more intimately intertwined with the response from New Zealand. Why do you think there's a fresh energy coming now? We see it at the protests. The numbers are going up. What's happening to cause, I guess, a bit of a revitalization of the numbers and a bit of a push upwards of the numbers of protesters and voices we're hearing supporting Palestine?
Yeah, good question. I think very early on, a lot of people didn't know what Palestine was. When I was born in Tamaki Makaurau, but I lived in the Middle East most of my life. So when I came back for uni to study, and I would meet people and say, oh, I'm from Palestine. A lot of people didn't know what Palestine was. A lot of people would say Pakistan. And I'm like, no, Pakistan is a lovely country, but I'm not from Pakistan. I'm from Palestine. So I think a lot of people didn't actually know what Palestine was. And, when you first kind of see what happened on October the 7th, it's like, oh, wow, like, how could these people do that? But when you really learn the history on the occupation and the fact that it's been happening for years and decades, since 1948, it's happened 77 years ago in the Nakba, when 750,000 Palestinians were exiled out of Palestine, and they had to go to neighboring countries, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan. But people didn't know that. So I think once October the 7th happened and people saw that, yes, it is a tragedy. Nobody wanted it to happen. But I think once people started to learn and also unlearn things that they were taught, I think it's opened up people's eyes. And also, since August, there has been a man-made famine happening. No food aid trucks has entered Gaza since August. So there are 2 million people that are living in the Gaza Strip, and 500,000 of them are facing catastrophic hunger. They are in the brink of starvation. And people actually have died of starvation in Gaza. Children have died from starvation. So I think there has been this shift in the movement, and people have opened up their eyes. And we've been closing down the streets for 2 years. It's hard for you to ignore us. There's been lots of events. There's been a lot of gigs. There's been a lot of restaurants as well that have hosted fundraisers. So I think you are really living under a rock if you don't know what's happening in Palestine and haven't seen it in Tamaki Makaurau. So I think there has been that shift of energy, and people have been coming in the masses now and mobilizing.